Yo guys, Gluten-Free EDC here. I'm Brian, your gluten-sensitive representative. Today I have a really cool knife by way of a friend in the community. Man, you know who you are. Thank you so much. I'm not sure if you wanted me to throw your name up in here, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Maybe I'll throw your IG in the description. Guys, look down there. If I included it, it's because I reached out to him. Wouldn't just do that without asking. So this is a French knife by maker Thierry Savidan. So you could see in the logo, you have S-A-V-I-D-A-N. And you have the Thierry Savidan knives. T-H-I-E-R-R-Y. Of course, I will have that in the description, so no need to worry there. I am going to quick run and get a clean fiber cloth for this one. Again, this is not my knife, so I'm not carrying this one. I am not cutting with this one. This is purely a detailed overview of the knife itself. So again, this knife is from France. Savidan is out of France. He's one of the bigger makers out there. He's known for making high precision, quality, completely handmade knives. Now just look at the wood scales that he has here. Gorgeous, gorgeous scales. Really unique. I know a lot of the French like having kind of like a tip up here. It's interesting. Beautiful design, right? You would think it would get in the way being a front flipper, but honestly, in use, not at all. It is a super light detent on this one. I'm surprised how light it is. It makes for somehow a snappy deployment still. And I believe that's because of the placement of the pivot. It's super high up on the knife. And then the flipper tab is fairly out there, right? And it just works. It's still real snappy. Now this one is so light you easily, if you're not putting pressure behind there, you're gonna easily fail it. But you can slow roll it. Now, slow rolling, you are going to run into this more right here, right? So you can see as we go, right there, you are going to run into it. It's softened. It's kind of thin up there, though. Not the most comfortable. I don't think it's a real big issue, but just something to take note of with his knives that, you know, he's going for that. He does have it chamfered all the way around, so it's really not horrible, but yeah, I think worth noting. Actually, it's not a chamfer, that's, yeah, chamfered on the inside. So yeah, really interesting aesthetic. Looks like it might be stabby pointy. In reality, it's not that stabby pointy. It just lends itself to being, in my opinion, gorgeous. Like, that looks really cool how the liner pokes out through there. Now, the knife itself, I believe, is RWL 34. That is the typical steel that most makers out of France are going to be using. You can see he does a fantastic plunge grind with a sharpening choil. This knife looks like it could be used and sharpened a million times thanks to the beautiful execution of that plunge. You can kind of see how it tapers off right there. Beautifully done. I'm going to have my hands behind this knife, I think, for most of this video because the light is really playing with it when I have it down here. It's kind of hard to make out. So, the blade, you can see, has the flat up right here. Beautifully done. And then a swedge going all along right here. That harpoon, that could be sharp. But because it's such a gentle slope up, you're not really going to run into an issue, I don't think. Yeah, it's fine for me. You can choke up here because it is flat. Everything is flush there. So that's really cool. So if you want to go into the choked up position, really nice. I like it a lot. Back here works real fine. The blade is swooping up. This is a drop point blade. Really, really cool with that swooping swedge that they are doing. Right, it starts up here and shoots down to there. I think that's really unique. Just all the way down, and it goes to the tip of the knife. The tip is fairly robust on this one, actually. You know, I would have thought it would have been fairly thin, but no, it's a robust tip. I believe this is a hollow grind. It comes down to a fairly thin edge. I'm sure this is fantastic. Let's get those fingerprints off of there and show off this gorgeous, gorgeous hand rub. It's just beautiful. Beautifully done. That is hard to capture. It is very reflective, but it is beautiful, guys. I'm not quite certain what the material is for the hardware. I assume that it's titanium. Let's just quick check. Yep, I believe that to be titanium. Or zirconium, actually, given the color of it. The liners, of course, are titanium. So let's go back to the hardware real quick. So it's either zirconium. I'd bet that that's zirconium. And then you have what appears to be a zirconium backspacer. Again, I'll try to correct it in the video of what this actually is. I'll ask my buddy. And then you have what appears to be a ceramic ball for the clip. I bet that works real well because the wood is polished fairly well. So really unique clip. You do not see that often. Sometimes on some custom knives you can see that. But great clearance, fairly deep carry, as deep as I care to go. I'm sure this works fantastic, this clip. And then the body screws actually appear to be kind of, I'm not sure if they're bare. I believe they are. They could be like lightly bronzed anodized. I believe that they're just a bare titanium, much as they are here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Very cool to see. Gorgeous knife, gorgeous knife. The jimping is really, really nice. I love the jimping that he does on this. So again, this is all done by hand. Look how precise that is. Beautiful. And I know, jimping, beautiful, but honestly, that's where I'm at now with my knives. So we'll open her back up. We'll look at the liner. You can see it's a fairly thin liner. And I think there's a few reasons maybe that he's going that route, just, you know, personal preference, but also the blade stock is fairly thick. So he's counteracting with some thin liners. The lockup looks like perfection. There's a cutout on this side as well as this side for easier access, and I think it is super easy to access. The liner itself is a bit sharp. However, I think it kind of has to be. Given how thin that is, to be able to manipulate and push that over, I think you kind of need to have that a bit sharp so you can catch it, so you're not messing around trying to unlock it and then maybe don't quite unlock it. Yeah, so I think it's done really well. The scales themselves are fairly thick. So this overall is a thicker knife, but because of the thin liners, that helps counteract that. But it does, it's definitely a thicker knife. It helps fill the hand really well and feels fantastic in hand. Another thing that's helping that is the ridiculous ergos on this knife. I think this is where this knife really shines. In the back position, your standard position, fantastic. Choked up, yep, really fantastic. I love both positions on this knife. And So you can see we have the straight line there, and then a very intense drop off right here. And that really, really helps it to feel great in hand. Really great in hand. I'm impressed by the ergonomics of this knife. Then you have here a bit of a swoop here for 2 fingers, and then swoop here for 2 fingers, and then it'll lock you in on the back here. Nicely rounded off. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I think it's real cool how he does the backspacer. So the backspacer is working so he's milling out parts here, and again, all by hand. Really cool. Ooh, I'm just noticing. I've got cuts all over my hands. Yep, typical for me. But anyway, so yeah, really cool how he does that. And then mills out a part where you have a bit of a barrel spacer so you can get a lanyard in there if you would like. But then he has the backspacer continue, which is great because when you lock it up, that's going to help protect you from that knife. I can get the tip of it with like my nail, so I can take it out by that. I've noticed that on a good few French knives. The space in between here is enough for me to get my finger in there too. So, you know, take that for what it is. I don't think it's too unsafe. Really, really gorgeous though, guys. Man, this knife is just a beauty to behold. I know the quality isn't coming through quite on the video. I'll get a nice shot for the thumbnail and post some pictures of this on my Instagram. Overall, just beautiful. I love the finish on the clip. I love the finish on the liners. It's almost like bronzed, and it helps it go with the wood itself. Like, look at the figure in the wood. Like, it looks like there's a depth to them, especially on this side. My goodness. Like, it looks like you could like reach in past the wood somehow. Like, it's contoured, but it's not. It's just the gorgeous striations of the wood itself. Beautiful, beautiful action, guys. Like, it's kind of crazy with how light the D10 is. You would think it doesn't work too well, but every which way is, you can still get it to be snappy because of where it aligns. I believe it's the geometry with that pivot being so high. Really, really nice. I'm sure it's running on bearings, ceramic D10. Just everything you would expect out of a custom knife. It's a single shake shut, so without the D10 hitting it, yeah, it's going to drop shut nice and easy. And then once it engages, just barely shake it shut. Really, really nice, guys. Let's do a quick comparison. So I wanted to bring another French knife. This is the 520 by Philippe Georget. You can see this is a 3 1/4 inch blade versus a 3 1/2 inch blade. I'll note the model. I believe this is the Zen. It's about 2 and 2 and or it's 2 and like 7 and just over 1/4 maybe. So yeah, really cool. Compare it to this guy, the Quiet Carry Waypoint. I just feel like a lot of people know this knife. So 3 1/4 inch blade, you can see matches up. It's really the same exact size as the Quiet Carry Waypoint. I'm not sure if that's coming through in the video or not, but same exact size. You got a taller blade, of course. More to it overall, but very similar in overall length and blade length. This one I wanted to show because it's another French maker that's well known out there, but really happy to have been able to share this one with you guys. I'm gonna quick clean it off. One last look at this beauty. Thank you again to my buddy for sharing this. I'll let you guys know again in the description if he's cool with me sharing his Instagram, because he's got some wild knives. All right, guys, that'll be it though. Thank you for tagging along to check out this gorgeous, gorgeous Thierry Savidan French knife. My goodness, they're killing it over there. I love the French knives, guys, as you know. So there will be more to come. Hope you enjoyed. Take care.